are to be initiated into soul consciousness. Otherwise, you cannot be a mender of souls. Mender of souls, that is in mender of souls. Mender means one who repairs. Yes. In Julius Caesar, Shakespeare makes a pun of the word soul. Yes. I am is the real soul, and the other soul is under your shoe. If you say, I have a soul, it means only under your shoe and never the real soul. Only when you meditate, I am a soul, you are somewhat correct. Because the word a soul is not totally correct. There is only one soul in all, though the vehicles are many. Therefore, there is only soul, there is no a soul. Like that, you will be able to understand the nirvanic plane of existence. And we will have a revision of what we have narrated today. Up to the fifth plane we have studied and have known something about the 5 planes of existence. There are 7 planes of existence. At first we posited that there is space unbound, which is the real I am, and in it there will be an active space which is again the same I am awakened, and it comes down in the form of an egg having many solar systems hatched in it. Each solar system is the reflection of that I am. Each solar system can be called the I am of the solar plane. Here it is called the I am of the cosmic plane, and here it is the supra-cosmic plane. And below the solar plane we have the planets, and each planet has its own I am. Truth is described in every scripture that the great Lord comes down to earth again and again to take a physical body, to lay the law on earth once again. It has one original meaning and the second a minor and glorified meaning. The one original meaning of all the scriptures is that the Lord comes down into everyone in the form of his I am. That is called the coming of the Lord to earth, which is a continuous and eternal process. But whenever man creates something wrong and creates a hell for himself and defile the law, there will be an additional descent of consciousness in one of the many bodies that come down. And through that body, there is the magnification of the light, and that particular life is called avatar or incarnation, or the coming down of the Lord. But unfortunately, we remembered only the second sense of it from the scriptures, and we never cared to notice the first sense of it. Same thing in Indian scriptures, same thing in Buddhistic scriptures, same thing in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, in the scripture of the Jews. The Lord comes down, the Lord comes down. He descends means he descends in the form of created worlds, and as every one in us he comes. That is the meaning of it. So there is the descent and there is the ascent. The descent is the Lord from the supracosmic planes, and the ascent is of the individual into the Lord consciousness. So this cycle is completed. You know how it is completed? Gradually, the mineral kingdom gets its awakening into the plant kingdom, and then into the animal kingdom, and then into the human kingdom, and then in the human kingdom, the 7 planes of consciousness evolve. The individual crosses the 7 planes, and from the 5th plane onwards, he touches the plane of consciousness which is omnipresent. And then in the next, he touches the consciousness of the solar system in total. On this earth, you will be able to experience the pulse of the whole solar system when you begin to feel the 6th plane of consciousness, called Paranirvana plane of consciousness. And when you touch the experience of the 7th plane of consciousness, you will feel the pulse of the cosmic consciousness. So up to that plane, you will be able to make the ascent once again to the place where from the Lord began his descent. And you can ask, what about the supracosmic plane? There is nothing to experience there because it is experience. Therefore, there is no experience of the supracosmic planes, and even the cosmic plane, many millions of people have no experience of it. Because by the time we become fit to experience that plane, we will not be human beings. We will be among the Deva kingdom. It is to train us into the Deva kingdom that the human birth is given. Understand that the human birth is a college and a university to give us the required training as recruits to work for nature. So that training takes so many births and rebirths. From the plane of the physical man of individuality to that of personality, that is the plane where we market our virtues, and gradually we begin to ascend step by step. When we touch the 5th plane of consciousness, we are permitted to know how the Deva kingdom is working. For example, we are permitted to know what fire is, and not to think that fire is only flame. We can understand that flame is the unnatural disturbance of fire, whereas what we call space is the natural state of fire. You will yourself know it. The content of what you call space is the real state of fire, which is called the cosmic fire. There are 3 manifestations of fire according to those who see and interpret. Fire exists in 3 planes. The fire we know, which we call flame, heat, light, these are properties of the 3rd stage of fire, called fire by friction. The grossest or the lowest of the 3 manifestations of fire, and the next higher is called the fire which we call electricity and magnetism. And what the most modern scientist calls electromagnetic field what the average scientist calls vacuum. But the Aquarian or advanced scientist knows that it is not a vacuum. Many science professors believe that space is a vacuum. That is because there is big vacuum in their head. The fact is, there is no vacuum at all. There is nothing like void possible existing. Void cannot exist. Existence cannot come out of void. That is what Krishna says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. The existing can never become non-existing. That which is non-existing can never exist. Because what you call non-existent or vacuum is also your concept of something existing. Otherwise, you could not have spoken about it at all. Therefore, don't be a fool to believe that there is vacuum. That is what the real scientist says when he speaks really about electromagnetic field. They exist not only in the laboratory but also in space. What we call space is nothing but electromagnetic field, and that is what is called fire in the second stage of existence. A fire which is called subtler fire than what we know as fire. It is the same which we call our life force or vital force. What we call life in our body, we call it electricity when it is in the machine. This we do not know because science is still in its primitive state about electricity. We don't know actually what electricity is, though we are making a use of it. Someday in the 21st century, a human being comes to understand that what we call life is not different from what we call electricity, though we are manipulating it through two different sources. When we are manipulating it in natural units, units created by nature, which we call the living bodies, organisms, then we call it life. When we are manipulating them with man-made units, which we call electromotors, we call it electricity. That we will be able to know after some time. So this electricity, or what we call life, is the second stage of fire. And there is the third stage which is called cosmic fire. That which we have spoken of about the active space. When first the space begins to become active from its passive state, that is the mother of the millions and millions of solar systems. That is what is described in the scriptures as the mother or darkness, or the deep. Darkness filled the deep. In the Vedic scriptures, it is called the mother of gods. Gods meaning the cosmic devas. She is called Aditi, and all the devas are called Adityas. That means sons of Aditi. That means primordial darkness. That is what is called the cosmic fire. So, the cosmic fire begins to awaken in the space unbound, and that becomes one unit of active space. That begins to produce a cosmos, and that produces myriads and myriads of solar systems. Solar systems produce planets. Planets produce atoms. Atoms begin to evolve upwards once again in their consciousness. They begin to become more and more conscious, and they follow the path of evolution. The first step being the nuclear awakening, then the plant awakening, then the animal awakening, human awakening, and the subtler stages of the human awakening, which we call the Deva awakening. So, from the human plane, we are expected to step into the Deva kingdom once again. That is, those intelligences that are working in nature. A few words about these Devas and their kingdom, it is also necessary here. At first, when space begins to awaken, there will be first group of Devas called cosmic Devas. They are called in the scriptures the musicians for certain reasons, because they are the intelligences who produce periodicities and equal durations, because afterwards the whole universe follows that periodicity. For that reason they are called the musicians. In Sanskrit they are called Gandharvas. And then in the second stage they are the makers of the solar systems. They exist in three groups. The first group are the Devas of radiation or Devas of light, which we call consciousness, because on the higher planes light means consciousness. On the lower planes, after our physical eye is produced, light means physical light or optic light. But before matter is produced, before force is produced, light means pure consciousness. So that in that sense they are called Devas of radiation. And the Devas, next is Devas of vibration. The next, Devas of materialization. The first group work out the consciousnesses. The second group work out the forces and energies that work the nature. The third group work to give the form to the universes. That is the shape or form side of it. So the first belongs to the consciousness, the second belongs to the force, and the third belongs to the material aspect of it. The solar systems are prepared by these three groups of Devas. According to the scriptures, if something is not distinct, you can ask. The first group of Devas are 12 subgroups. They exist in 12 subgroups. The Devas of vibration are 11 subgroups. Devas of materialization are 8 subgroups. This is how the Devas group on the cosmic plane. And then there will be the Devas on the solar plane, called the solar system. Devas are the solar system. First, there are 3 groups of Devas. Each group has 7 subgroups. So there are 21 subgroups in all. They work out the 7 scales of consciousness in the solar system and the 7 rays that descend to our earth and the 7 sounds of the musical gamut. And in multiples of 7, they create everything in the solar system. So they are the solar Devas. And then we have on our earth the Devas on the working on the earth plane. We have devas who govern the properties of the 5 states of matter. 5. That's okay. 5 states of matter are space, air, water or liquid, and earth or solid. And finally 5, fire, not the same fire but the fire that is working on the third plane, who works as the transport agent of all the 4. That is, who converts solids into liquid and liquids into gases, and again gases into liquids and liquids into solids. He is called the fire of the earth. So, the 5 states of existence on this earth have 5 groups of devas, and there are 7 groups of earth devas who govern 7 groups of mineral kingdoms in this earth. They maintain the properties of each mineral separately, along with the difference in the atomic structure and atomic number. And then they begin to stimulate the atom into its higher state of consciousness to get its awakenings on the nuclear plane. This is how the whole evolution takes place, and how this earth group of devas beginning the backward journey, the journey of ascent again to the same goal where the creation has started descending. This, in short, is the journey of consciousness and the path of evolution, and what is called soul consciousness, in short. Of course, it is a subject for 7 or 8 lessons. It should be in the form of lessons and not lectures. It should have its own definite syllabus to proceed, and not something for just a pastime. I could give you only an aerial view of the whole plan, and I once again remind you that the human birth is very, very noble in its nature, and it is a great opportunity, but never a great privilege. It is not for us to enjoy as a privilege, but it is to feel the responsibility of an elder brother to the creation. We are expected to feel as an elder brother of the mineral, plant and animal. And then we are here only as students in a university, and we are in our dormitories, allowed to go into better and better rooms of residence in the form of our better evolution, and the human body being the most equipped form of dormitory, we are expected to be careful in receiving the training, so that we begin to work as scouts and try to help those who are having lesser strength than us, who are less intelligent, who are less rich and less resourceful. Not to expect for those who are more intelligent than us and more resourceful than us, so that we are properly trained to work as scouts only, to imitate the work of the devas and gradually step into the next stage of evolution, the evolution of the Deva kingdom. Thank you all. Any relevant questions? Yes. Brahma? we are once again going into symbolism. From the supracosmic to the cosmic, the passage is called Brahma the four-faced. On the cosmic plane, it is called the Brahma in the golden egg. That is cosmic, that is self-luminous egg. In the solar systems, he is called the creator chasing his wife. That is running after his wife in a downward direction. That is how the symbolism goes. The word Buddha, according to the Buddhistic authoritative tradition, should be carefully understood as different from the Buddha who is described by the historians. I will just a little explain about it. Whom we called the Devas in the Hindu symbolism, in the Vedas and the other scriptures, the Devas of the cosmic plane and the Devas of the solar plane, they are called Dhyani Buddhas. Buddha is not a proper noun, though Gautama became the Buddha, and Gautama was himself not the founder of Buddhism, because the first Buddha made his appearance early in the beginning of humanity. He was called Rishabha, the first Buddha. Like that, there are many Buddhas, but here what we want is the cosmic Devas and the solar Devas are called Buddhas, Jnani Buddhas. That is, the word Buddha denotes a particular range of cosmic intelligence. And then on every planet, the Lord of the planet is called little Buddhas or the Buddhas of the cycles. What is the name?